Crash landing. The vastness of space stretched infinitely, dotted with countless stars, each holding secrets of its own. Among them was the Starlight Dreamer, a sleek vessel piloted by Commander Emily Hayes. She was known throughout the Galactic Federation for her sharp instincts and fearless spirit. Emily had spent years exploring the cosmos, mapping uncharted worlds, and seeking out new frontiers for humanity. This particular mission was unlike any other. Emily had been tasked with scouting a newly discovered planet, rumored to possess rich resources and potential for human colonization. As she maneuvered through the stars, her heart raced with excitement. This was a chance to make history, to expand the boundaries of human existence. But as she adjusted the ship's controls, an urgent alarm blared, echoing in the confines of the cockpit. Warning: incoming debris detected. The ship's sensors flashed red, illuminating Emily's worried face. She quickly analyzed the trajectory of the debris, realizing with horror that it was too late to avoid it. With a shuddering crash, the Starlight Dreamer was struck, sending her spiraling into the planet's atmosphere. The once controlled flight turned chaotic as the ship broke through clouds, plummeting toward the vibrant green canopy below. Emily's hands tightened on the controls as she fought against the forces pulling her down, her heart pounding in her chest. "Come on, baby, stay with me," she shouted to her ship, desperately trying to stabilize the descent. The instruments flickered and alarms blared. The ship's frame groaned under the stress, and Emily felt a surge of fear. She knew the odds were against her. As the ground rushed up to meet her, she braced for impact. The ship slammed into the jungle floor with a bone-rattling thud, trees splintering and foliage exploding in all directions. Emily was thrown against her harness, the world spinning around her. For a moment, everything was darkness. When she finally opened her eyes, the cockpit was filled with smoke, and a sense of disorientation washed over her. She unbuckled herself and struggled to stand, her body protesting against the pain. Glancing around, she took stock of her surroundings. The once pristine control panel was now a chaotic mess of sparks and shattered screens. The ship was a wreck, but she was alive. "Breathe, Emily. You can do this," she muttered to herself, pushing through the haze of confusion. She reached for her survival pack, instinctively pulling it close as she scanned the jungle outside. Thick vines draped from towering trees, their leaves shimmering in the faint sunlight that filtered through the canopy. The air was thick and humid, filled with the sounds of strange wildlife echoing in the distance. Stepping cautiously from the wreckage, Emily took a deep breath, grounding herself in the moment. She was alone on an alien world, surrounded by the unknown. The ship had crashed in a remote section of a jungle, far from any signs of civilization. As she surveyed the area, a sense of unease crept into her heart. She had been trained for situations like this, but nothing could prepare her for the reality of being stranded on an uncharted planet. Determined to survive, Emily grabbed her survival pack and moved away from the wreckage. She set up a perimeter with makeshift traps, hoping to catch any small creatures that could provide her with food. As the sun began to set, the jungle transformed into a twilight realm of eerie sounds and shifting shadows. Every rustle in the underbrush sent her heart racing. Just as exhaustion threatened to overcome her, a sudden commotion jolted Emily awake. A loud rustling in the bushes drew her attention, and her instincts kicked in. She grabbed her small energy pistol from the pack, ready to defend herself. The adrenaline coursed through her veins as she prepared for whatever threat lay ahead. Emerging from the shadows was an alien creature, unlike anything Emily had ever seen. It was a humanoid female with iridescent scales, glimmering in the dim light. Her athletic build was graceful yet intimidating, and her eyes glowed with a fierce intelligence. Long golden hair framed her striking features, and her expression held a mix of curiosity and caution. Emily's breath caught in her throat. This was not what she had expected. Instead of the hostile alien she had braced herself for, she found a being that seemed just as wary of her. The creature was caught in one of her traps, struggling against the restraints. Emily's heart raced as she lowered her weapon, realizing that this alien was just as much a victim of circumstance as she was. "Easy now, I'm not here to hurt you," Emily said, her voice steady despite the chaos of emotions swirling within her. She took a cautious step closer, her hands raised in a peaceful gesture. The alien stopped her struggle, fixing Emily with a penetrating gaze. The tension in the air shifted as understanding began to bridge the gap between them. The creature spoke in a melodic hiss, her words flowing like a song, yet Emily couldn't understand them. Nevertheless, the tone was clear. The alien was frightened and confused. With great care, Emily approached the trap, trying to convey that she meant no harm. "I'll help you," she promised, reaching out to free the alien from its bindings. With a swift motion, Emily released the trap, and the alien tumbled to the ground. Instead of attacking, she sprang up, her posture shifting from defensive to curious. The two women stood face to face, both sizing each other up, each uncertain of the other's intentions. "Can you understand me?" Emily asked, her heart pounding. The alien tilted her head, her eyes searching Emily's face for answers. After a moment, she responded, her voice still laced with a hissing language. Then, to Emily's astonishment, a small device in her hand glowed and emitted a soft, synthetic voice. "Human, I am Elia. You have freed me." The words were stilted but clear, echoing with a musical lilt. Emily felt a sense of relief wash over her. They could communicate, even if it was through a device. "I'm Emily. I didn't mean to trap you. My ship, it crashed," Emily explained, gesturing to the wreckage behind her. "I need help. Can you guide me?" Elia's eyes narrowed slightly, and for a moment, Emily worried she had misjudged the alien's reaction. But then, to her surprise, Elia stepped closer, her expression shifting from suspicion to intrigue. "You are not like others. You do not wish to harm me," she said, her voice softening. Emily felt a rush of gratitude and hope. Perhaps this unexpected encounter could lead to an alliance, a way to survive together in this strange land. "Exactly. We can help each other," Emily suggested, feeling a bond forming between them. As Elia considered Emily's offer, the jungle around them came alive with sounds, distant calls of creatures unseen, rustling leaves, and the hum of life. In that moment, Emily understood. She wasn't just a human lost in the cosmos. She was part of a larger story unfolding in this alien world. Together, they could write a new chapter, one filled with possibility and adventure. With newfound determination, Emily extended her hand, a gesture of trust. Elia hesitated for just a heartbeat before placing her webbed fingers in Emily's palm. It was a small yet powerful step, one that bridged their worlds and set them on a path of unexpected friendship. And so began the journey of Emily and Elia, two beings from different worlds, bound by circumstance and the unyielding spirit of exploration. They would navigate the challenges of survival, face the unknown, and discover the true meaning of connection and courage in a universe filled with wonders yet to be unveiled. Little did they know, the adventure that lay ahead would test their strength and resolve, forcing them to confront not just external threats, but their own fears and preconceptions about each other. As the first stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Emily and Elia stood side by side, ready to face whatever challenges the jungle would throw their way. The path ahead was uncertain, but together, they felt an unshakable bond, one that would drive them forward into the unknown. Unlike the allies, the jungle was alive with sounds, rustling leaves, chirping insects, and the distant calls of unknown creatures. As the night descended, Emily felt the air grow thick with humidity, wrapping around her like a warm blanket. She glanced over at Elia, who stood beside her, her golden hair glimmering in the dim light of the alien moon. The ethereal beauty of the scene was stark against the backdrop of their dire situation. "Where do we go from here?" Emily asked, breaking the silence. The tension of their earlier encounter had faded, replaced by a shared sense of purpose. "We need to find a safe place to rest for the night." Alia nodded, her yellow-green eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. There is a cave nearby. It is protected from predators. Follow me. She gestured for Emily to stay close, leading the way through the dense foliage. As they moved deeper into the jungle, Emily felt a mixture of awe and trepidation. The flora was unlike anything she had seen on Earth. Vines thick as her arm curled around trees, flowers glowed softly, casting an enchanting light that illuminated their path. Every step revealed new wonders, plants that shifted colors in response to their presence, bioluminescent creatures flitting through the air, leaving trails of shimmering light. What is this place? Emily breathed, enchanted by the beauty surrounding her. It's incredible. A world of many secrets, Elia replied, her voice a soft melody in the night. Our planet, Saranthia, is alive. It speaks to us, shares its magic. You must learn to listen. As they reached the entrance to the cave, Emily was struck by its size. The mouth of the cave was framed by thick, curling vines and illuminated by phosphorescent moss that glowed in soft shades of blue and green. It was a hidden sanctuary, a stark contrast to the chaos of their earlier encounter. Once inside, Elia turned to Emily, her expression serious. We are safe here for now, but we must not underestimate the dangers of this jungle. It is full of predators, both seen and unseen. I understand, Emily replied, her mind racing with the implications. What kind of predators are we talking about? Elia paused, her brow furrowing as she considered how to explain. There are many. Some hunt alone, others in packs. But what is most dangerous is the fear that can cloud your judgment. Emily nodded, absorbing the wisdom in Elia's words. I'll remember that. She took a moment to catch her breath, feeling the weight of her situation settle upon her shoulders. What about you? You were caught in my trap. I didn't mean to hurt you. Elia's expression softened. You showed compassion when others would not. I sensed your fear, but also your strength. It is rare for one like you to offer help to a Cerinthian. A warm glow of understanding filled the space between them. We're not so different, are we? Emily mused. We both want to survive. With a sudden sense of camaraderie, Emily began to unpack her survival pack, laying out the limited supplies she had managed to salvage from the wreckage. I have a few nutrient bars, a medkit, and some tools. Not much, but it's something. Elia watched, her eyes filled with curiosity. What are these nutrient bars? Emily smiled, feeling a spark of pride as she opened one of the packages. It's a food source designed to provide balanced nutrition. Here, try it. She handed a bar to Elia, who examined it closely. Taking a cautious bite, Elia's eyes widened with surprise. It is sweet, strange, but pleasant. Elia's expression turned serious again as she looked back at Emily. You have come here unprepared for our world. Your kind often seeks to exploit what they do not understand. Emily frowned, feeling the weight of Elia's words. I'm not here to exploit anyone or anything. I just want to survive, like you. I promise I won't take advantage of this place or its people. Elia studied her for a moment before nodding. Then we must work together. I will teach you the ways of the jungle, and you will help me understand your world. The prospect of an alliance filled Emily with hope. Deal, but we need to be careful. We don't know what other threats might be lurking out there. As the two women settled in for the night, they took turns keeping watch. Emily was struck by how peaceful the jungle could be despite its dangers. The sounds of the night were soothing, an orchestra of chirping crickets and rustling leaves. But her thoughts were interrupted by a low growl echoing from the depths of the jungle. Emily stiffened, her instincts flaring to life. She turned to Elia, who stood alert, her senses heightened. What was that? Emily whispered, her voice barely audible. A predator, Elia replied, her expression tense. We must stay quiet. Emily's heart raced as she strained to hear any further sounds. The growl echoed again, closer this time, sending shivers down her spine. She gripped her energy pistol tightly, ready for anything. Suddenly, the growling stopped, replaced by an eerie silence. It was unsettling, as if the jungle held its breath. Elia motioned for Emily to crouch low, and they pressed against the cave wall, their eyes scanning the darkness beyond. Just then, a massive creature burst into the clearing, its powerful body illuminated by the moonlight filtering through the trees. It was a hulking beast, with scales glistening in shades of emerald and deep blue. Its eyes burned like fiery coals as it prowled, sniffing the air. Emily's breath caught in her throat. "What is that thing?" "A freckle," Elia whispered, her voice steady. "It is territorial and will attack if it senses intruders." Emily's mind raced, analyzing their options. "Do we fight it or run?" "Neither," Elia replied firmly. "We wait. Freckles are formidable, but they can be distracted. If we remain quiet, it may lose interest." As they crouched in silence, Emily felt the weight of the situation pressing down on her. She was trapped in a jungle filled with danger, depending on an alien for survival. Yet, despite the fear, there was a thrill in the challenge, a chance to prove herself, to navigate the unknown. The freckle prowled closer, sniffing the ground, its massive claws digging into the earth. Emily's heart raced as it paused near their hiding spot, its eyes scanning the area. Time seemed to stretch, each heartbeat echoing in her ears. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the creature turned away, moving deeper into the jungle, rolling softly as it went. Emily let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. "That was too close," she said, her voice shaky. Elia's expression was calm but firm. "This jungle tests those who enter. You must learn to trust your instincts and not act impulsively." "I will," Emily promised, feeling a newfound determination. "I won't let fear control me." As dawn broke, casting golden rays across the jungle, Emily and Elia emerged from the cave, ready to face the day ahead. The lush greenery was alive with colors, and the sweet scent of blooming flowers filled the air. Emily couldn't help but marvel at the beauty surrounding them. "Today, we will gather resources," Elia announced. "We must find food and water, and you will learn how to navigate this jungle." "Sounds like a plan," Emily replied, excitement bubbling within her. "I'm ready." Together, they set off into the heart of the jungle, forging an unlikely partnership. With each step, Emily felt her fear slowly dissipate, replaced by a growing sense of purpose. She was no longer just a lost human. She was an explorer, an ally to an alien, and a survivor in a world that demanded resilience. As they ventured deeper into the jungle, Emily began to learn the secrets of Serenthia. Elia taught her which plants were edible, how to identify animal tracks, and the signs of danger. With every lesson, their bonds strengthened, and Emily felt a sense of belonging in this alien landscape. But beneath the thrill of exploration, a shadow loomed. Emily couldn't shake the feeling that their safety was tenuous. As they navigated the vibrant underbrush, she remained acutely aware of the lurking dangers. They were in a world where predators roamed, and she needed to prove herself not just to Elia, but to herself. As they continued their journey, Emily realized that this adventure was about more than just survival. It was a chance to forge connections, to bridge worlds, and to redefine what it meant to be an ally in the face of adversity. Little did they know, the challenges ahead would test their newfound friendship, forcing them to confront not only the external threats of the jungle, but also the internal struggles that came with trust and understanding. The test of trust. The sun hung high in the sky, casting dappled light through the thick canopy of leaves above as Emily and Elia ventured deeper into the vibrant jungle of Serenthia. The air was rich with the scent of blooming flowers and damp earth, and the sounds of wildlife surrounded them like a symphony. Emily felt invigorated by the life around her, a stark contrast to the loneliness of the cold void of space. "Over here," Elia said, her voice breaking through Emily's reverie. She knelt by a cluster of colorful plants that glowed softly in the sunlight. "These are called virelians. Their roots are edible and rich in nutrients. Emily knelt beside her, examining the delicate flowers that swayed gently in the breeze. They're beautiful. I've never seen anything like them. Elia smiled, her scales catching the light and shimmering in a mesmerizing display. Nature here is full of wonders. But remember, beauty can often hide danger. We must remain vigilant. As Emily dug her fingers into the soft earth to unearth the roots, a sense of camaraderie blossomed between them. They were no longer just a human and an alien. They were partners, united in a shared struggle for survival. Emily marveled at how quickly they had adapted to one another, their differences becoming strengths rather than barriers. After gathering enough Virelians, they moved on, the jungle unfolding like a living tapestry around them. Elia led the way with graceful confidence, her movements fluid and sure. Emily followed closely, learning to read the signs of the forest, the rustling of leaves, the distant calls of creatures, the subtle shifts in the air that hinted at danger. Suddenly, a series of sharp cracks echoed through the trees, followed by a low rumble that shook the ground beneath them. Emily froze, her heart racing. "What was that?" she asked, her voice a whisper. Elia's expression shifted to one of alarm. "That sound, it's a warning. Something big is approaching." Before Emily could respond, the underbrush exploded as a massive creature barreled through the foliage. It was a colossal beast, resembling a mix between a bear and a reptile, with thick scales and a massive maw filled with sharp teeth. Its eyes burned with a fierce intelligence, and it seemed to be searching for something or someone. "Run!" Elia shouted, grabbing Emily's hand and pulling her away from the approaching danger. They dashed through the jungle, branches slapping against their bodies as they weaved between trees and underbrush. Emily's heart pounded in her chest, a primal fear driving her to keep pace with Elia. The ground shook with every step of the beast behind them, a relentless predator that refused to be shaken off. "Where do we go?" Emily gasped, her lungs burning from exertion. "There's a ravine up ahead. We can hide there," Elia replied, her determination shining through the fear. They sprinted toward the ravine, the creature's growls echoing behind them, a menacing reminder of the danger that lurked just out of sight. As they reached the edge of the ravine, Elia quickly pointed to a narrow ledge that wound down the side. "We can slip down there, hurry." Without hesitating, they descended the rocky path, their adrenaline pushing them to move faster. As they reached the bottom, Elia motioned for silence, and they pressed themselves against the cool stone wall, hearts racing. The growls of the creature echoed above, but as they waited, it seemed to lose interest, moving away in search of easier prey. "I think we're safe for now," Elia whispered, glancing over her shoulder to ensure the beast was truly gone. Emily let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. That was terrifying. "I've faced some dangerous situations before, but that—" She shook her head, trying to dispel the fear still gripping her. Elia turned to her, concern etched on her features. "You handled it well. Fear can either paralyze or empower you. You chose to run, to survive. I guess it's instinct, right? We all just want to make it through," Emily replied, her voice steadying. "Thank you for pulling me away. I wouldn't have made it without you." Elia's expression softened, and she placed a webbed hand on Emily's shoulder. "We are stronger together. Trust is the foundation of our survival here. I will protect you as you protect me." With a sense of reassurance, Emily nodded. "I trust you, Elia. I want to learn to adapt. This jungle is foreign to me, but I know I can do it with your help." They spent a few moments catching their breath in the ravine, taking stock of their surroundings. The walls were steep, and the ground was littered with rocks and plants. Elia pointed out a few of the native plants that could be beneficial for them, teaching Emily how to identify what was edible and what was not. "I want to know everything," Emily said, her enthusiasm shining through. "This world is incredible, and I don't want to just survive. I want to understand it." Elia smiled, a flicker of pride evident in her eyes. "Then let us explore together. There is much to learn, and I sense you are eager for knowledge." After a short rest, they began their ascent out of the ravine, carefully navigating the rocky path. The sun was high in the sky now, casting warm rays over the landscape and igniting the jungle with vibrant colors. As they climbed back up to the main path, Emily felt a renewed sense of purpose. "Where to next?" she asked, looking to Elia for guidance. "There is a nearby spring where we can find fresh water," Elia replied. "It will also provide us with a safe place to rest and gather more resources." As they trekked toward the spring, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that that earlier encounter had changed something fundamental between them. The trust they were building felt significant, a connection forged in the fires of adversity. With every challenge they faced together, they grew closer. Upon reaching the spring, the sight was breathtaking. A crystal-clear pool of water shimmered under the sunlight, surrounded by lush ferns and vibrant flowers. Emily knelt by the water's edge, cupping her hands to drink deeply. The cool liquid refreshed her, invigorating her spirit. Elia joined her, dipping her hands into the water. "This place is sacred to my people," she said, her voice soft and reverent. "It is believed that the waters here hold the memories of the past and the hopes for the future." Emily looked at Elia, intrigued. "What do you mean?" "The waters have a way of reflecting one's true self," Elia explained. "When I drink from it, I can see the path I must take. It guides my spirit." Emily smiled, feeling a sense of wonder. "Maybe I'll see my future too." She knelt again, gazing into the water, but all she saw was her reflection, an explorer, a survivor. "I can't wait to discover more about this world, about you." Elia returned her gaze with warmth. "And I about you, Emily. Our paths have intertwined, and together we shall face whatever challenges come our way." As they rested by the spring, sharing stories of their worlds, a bond grew between them that transcended their differences. Emily spoke of her home on Earth, the bustling cities, the vast oceans, and the adventures she had longed for in the stars. Elia, in turn, shared tales of Cerinthia's rich culture, the ancient rituals of her people, and the harmony they sought with nature. Their laughter echoed through the jungle, a sound of joy and connection that cut through the weight of their circumstances. For the first time since the crash, Emily felt a sense of belonging, a partnership built on mutual respect and shared purpose. But as they continued to share their stories, a sudden rustling in the bushes interrupted their moment of peace. Both women tensed, their instincts kicking in once more. Elia's eyes narrowed, scanning the underbrush. "Stay close," Elia warned, her voice low. "We may not be alone." Emily gripped her energy pistol, her heart pounding once again. As they waited, a figure emerged from the shadows, and for a moment, Emily's breath caught in her throat. It was a creature unlike any they had encountered before. Towering over them, it was covered in dark, bristly fur and sported elongated limbs that seemed to move with unnatural speed. Its eyes glowed a fierce red, locking onto Emily and Elia with predatory intent. "Get back," Elia shouted, her body instinctively positioning itself in front of Emily. "Wait," Emily called, her voice firm. "Maybe it's not here to attack. We should try to communicate." Elia shot her a look of disbelief, but remained still, tension crackling in the air between them. Emily took a deep breath, steadying her nerves as she stepped forward slowly, raising her empty hands in a gesture of peace. "Hello, we mean no harm," she called out, her voice echoing against the rocks. The creature paused, its expression shifting from aggression to confusion. It tilted its head, studying them, as if trying to understand their intentions. Emily's heart raced. This was a crossing paths. The creature before Emily and Elia stood still, its large, red eyes flickering between them, as if weighing their presence. Emily's heart raced as she kept her hands raised, palms outward, showing she meant no harm. "We're just travelers in this jungle," she said, her voice steady. "We come in peace." Elia remained tense beside her, ready to defend. "Be cautious, Emily. Not all creatures are as they seem." The creature's fur bristled slightly, but instead of lunging, it took a cautious step forward. Emily's breath caught in her throat, and for a moment, she felt a strange connection forming. It was as if they were both caught in the web of curiosity and caution. "Please, let us understand each other," Emily continued, feeling an urge to reach out to this being. "What's your name?" The creature hesitated, then let out a low growl that vibrated through the air. It was a sound of confusion, but there was also an underlying sense of intelligence. Slowly, it began to shift its posture, lowering its massive frame. Alia narrowed her eyes, watching closely. "This creature is not native to my people's territory. It must have wandered here from another part of the jungle." Emily felt a surge of empathy. Maybe it's lost, just like we are. She took a cautious step forward, the air thick with tension. "I know what it's like to be lost. We can help each other." To her surprise, the creature tilted its head again, almost in acknowledgement. It took another step closer, and Emily could see the sharp claws at the end of its elongated fingers. The creature sniffed the air, its gaze lingering on Emily before shifting to Elia. "What are you doing?" Elia whispered, panic creeping into her voice. "You shouldn't approach it." "I need to try," Emily replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's scared, just like we are. If we can show it kindness, maybe it will respond." With a deep breath, Emily knelt down, placing herself at the creature's level. "I'm not a threat," she murmured softly. "I just want to help." The creature paused, studying her with its fiery eyes. Then, to Emily's astonishment, it let out a soft, rumbling sound, reminiscent of a purr. Encouraged, she reached out slowly, extending her hand toward it. Elia's eyes widened in disbelief, but Emily felt a strange warmth radiating from the creature. As her fingers brushed its fur, she was overwhelmed by a sense of connection, an understanding that transcended words. The creature leaned into her touch, and a wave of relief washed over Emily. "I think it understands," she said, her voice full of wonder. "It just wants to know we mean no harm." Alia stepped forward cautiously, her skepticism softening as she observed the interaction. "If it accepts you, then perhaps we can use this to our advantage," she suggested, her voice steadying. "But we must remain vigilant." Emily nodded, feeling a bond form between them and the creature. "We can work together. I'll name you Rax," she declared, looking into the creature's eyes. "How does that sound?" Rax tilted its head again, a low sound escaping its throat, which seemed to echo in agreement. Emily's heart swelled at the idea of having an ally in this strange world. "Okay, Rax," she said with a smile. "We need to find food and water. Can you help us?" With a rumble of excitement, Rax turned and began to move deeper into the jungle, its massive form gliding smoothly through the underbrush. Emily and Elia exchanged glances, their earlier fears fading as they followed. As they journeyed together, Emily couldn't help but marvel at the ease with which Rax navigated the terrain. The creature moved with an elegance that belied its size, weaving between trees and bushes with ease. Emily and Elia kept pace, intrigued by their new companion. "Rax seems to know this jungle better than we do," Emily observed, her excitement growing. "We could learn a lot from it." Elia nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Rax is a predator, but it also understands the balance of this ecosystem. It knows where to find food and water while avoiding danger." As they walked, Rax paused occasionally to sniff the air or investigate a strange sound. Emily felt a sense of adventure coursing through her veins. This partnership felt like a turning point, an opportunity to explore this alien world with newfound allies. Eventually, they arrived at a grove filled with large, colorful fruit hanging from the branches of sprawling trees. The vibrant colors of the fruits called to Emily, and her mouth watered at the thought of tasting something fresh. "Look at that," Emily exclaimed, pointing to the nearest tree. "Those fruits look delicious." Rax responded with a low growl, sounding almost amused. The creature bounded forward, reaching the lowest branch with ease. With a swift motion, it knocked several fruits down to the ground, where they landed with soft thuds. "Impressive," Elia said, grinning. "I can see why this creature is respected in the jungle." As they collected the fruits, Emily marveled at their unique shapes and colors. "Let's taste one," she suggested, eagerly picking one up. Cautiously, she took a bite. The flavor exploded in her mouth, sweet and tangy, unlike anything she had ever experienced. "This is amazing," she exclaimed, grinning at Elia and Rax. "You've got to try it." Elia picked one of the fruits and hesitated for a moment before biting into it. Her eyes widened in delight. "It is delicious. I can see why you were drawn to it." Rax watched them, its head tilting with curiosity. "It seems Rax is enjoying our company," Emily joked, playfully offering the creature a piece of fruit. To her surprise, Rax leaned forward, delicately taking the offering with its claws and savoring the taste. As they feasted on the bounty of the grove, laughter and conversation filled the air. In that moment, the dangers of the jungle felt distant, overshadowed by the joy of their shared experience. "Together, we are strong," Elia said, her voice filled with warmth. "We will overcome whatever this world throws at us." As the sun began to set, casting the jungle in a warm golden hue, Emily felt a profound sense of gratitude. The challenges they had faced had forged a bond between them, human, alien, and creature united in purpose. But as they prepared to set up camp for the night, a shiver ran down Emily's spine. She could sense a shift in the atmosphere, an unshakable feeling that they were not alone. "Elia, do you feel that?" she asked, glancing around. Elia's expression turned serious as she scanned the surroundings. "Yes, we must be cautious. The jungle is alive with creatures that sense our presence." Rax let out a low growl, its body tensing as it shifted its attention to the shadows beyond the grove. Emily's heart raced, her instincts flaring. They were vulnerable in the open, and she could sense a predatory gaze watching them from the darkness. "Let's find a secure spot to rest," Elia suggested, her voice firm. "We need to be on high alert." With Rax leading the way, they moved deeper into the grove, seeking shelter among the dense foliage. Emily's mind raced, considering the implications of their new alliance. Trust had been hard-earned, and the jungle tested their resolve at every turn. As they settled in for the night, Emily reflected on how far they had come. From being stranded alone to finding companionship in the most unlikely of allies, she felt a sense of purpose growing within her. Together, they would navigate this unknown world and uncover its secrets, but she knew they would also have to confront their fears. The sounds of the jungle enveloped them as night fell, each rustle and call a reminder of the dangers that lurked beyond their makeshift camp. But for the first time since her crash, Emily felt a flicker of hope. With Rax at their side and Elia's unwavering spirit, they were ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the heart of Serenthia. Their journey was just beginning, and Emily knew that the bond they were forging would be tested time and again. "Tomorrow, we continue to explore," she whispered to Elia as they settled in for the night. "Together, we'll uncover the mysteries of this world." "Yes," Elia replied, her voice steady and filled with conviction, "and we will emerge stronger." As sleep began to take her, Emily's mind drifted with dreams of adventure and exploration, surrounded by the warmth of newfound friendships and the promise of the unknown. The rising threat. Morning light filtered through the thick canopy of leaves above, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. Emily awoke to the sounds of the jungle coming to life, the chirping of exotic birds, the rustle of small creatures in the underbrush, and the soft gurgle of a nearby stream. She stretched, feeling invigorated despite the uncertainties that lay ahead. "Good morning, Elia." "Rax," Emily said, glancing around their makeshift camp. Rax lay curled up nearby, its massive form appearing deceptively peaceful in sleep. Elia was already awake, her gaze focused on the morning light as it streamed through the trees. "Good morning, Emily," Elia replied, her voice still husky from sleep. "We should gather our things and prepare for the day. There is much more to explore, and I feel a change in the air." Emily nodded, intrigued by Elia's intuition. What do you mean? There is a tension in the jungle, Elia explained. I can sense it. The creatures are restless today. We must be cautious. With that, they quickly gathered their supplies and prepared for their next journey. Rax stirred, yawning widely before standing up and shaking off the remnants of sleep. The creature looked at them expectantly, as if eager to continue their exploration. Ready to lead us, Rax, Emily said with a smile, feeling a growing affection for their unexpected ally. Rax let out a soft growl, and with a swift motion, it bounded into the underbrush, guiding them forward. Elia and Emily followed closely, their hearts racing with anticipation. The jungle was an ever-shifting tapestry of colors and sounds, and every step was an invitation to discovery. As they moved deeper into the jungle, the path became more challenging. The undergrowth thickened, and the air grew humid, making each breath feel heavy. Yet, Emily felt exhilarated. This was what she had yearned for, a real adventure filled with unpredictability and excitement. Look over there. Emily pointed to a cluster of vibrant flowers that shimmered in the dappled sunlight. They were unlike any she had ever seen, their petals glistening as if covered in dew. A rare find, Elia said, moving closer to examine them. The Nyron blossoms are known for their healing properties. We should gather some. Emily joined Elia, carefully picking the delicate flowers. This is incredible. We can use these if anyone gets injured. She tucked a few blossoms into her pack, feeling a sense of purpose growing within her. As they continued, they encountered various wonders, a grove of towering trees with trunks that spiraled like twisting columns, a clearing filled with phosphorescent fungi that glowed brightly, illuminating the shadows around them. Each discovery felt like a treasure, a glimpse into the secrets of this alien world. But just as the sense of wonder began to settle in, the atmosphere shifted again. Elia's expression hardened, her gaze sweeping the surroundings. We need to move quietly. I sense something nearby. Emily's heart sank. What is it? I do not know, Elia admitted, her voice low. But I can feel it watching us. They proceeded cautiously, moving deeper into the jungle, the tension thickening around them. Rax stayed close, its senses heightened, ears perked and ready for action. Emily's mind raced as she scanned the underbrush, adrenaline coursing through her veins. Suddenly, a rustling noise erupted from the bushes to their left, followed by a low growl that sent chills down Emily's spine. A large creature emerged, a predator with sleek, silver fur and sharp claws that glinted menacingly in the light. Its eyes locked onto Emily, sizing her up as a potential target. Back, Elia commanded, pushing Emily behind her as she readied herself to defend. Rax let out a fierce roar, a sound that resonated deep within the jungle, echoing off the trees. Emily's heart raced as she gripped her energy pistol, but Elia's presence gave her a sense of calm. Stay close to me, Elia said, her body tense but poised for action. The creature prowled forward, its movements slow and deliberate. We need a distraction, Emily whispered, her mind racing. Maybe I can draw its attention away. No, it's too dangerous, Elia protested, her eyes fierce. We fight together or not at all. Just then, Rax charged at the creature, using its massive frame to shield Emily and Elia. The predator momentarily shifted its attention, caught off guard by the sudden attack. Rax lunged, its claws outstretched, and the two beasts collided in a flurry of fur and growls. Now, Elia shouted, and Emily took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the situation crash down on her. She raised her energy pistol, aiming for the creature's flank. With steady hands, she fired. The energy blast hit the predator, and it recoiled in pain, giving Rax the upper hand. In that instant, Elia seized the opportunity. She launched herself at the creature, using her agility and strength to gain the upper hand. Keep firing, Emily, Elia shouted, her voice filled with determination. Emily didn't hesitate, firing again and again, focusing on keeping the creature off balance. Rax and Elia worked in tandem, the two of them attacking from different angles, drawing on their unique strengths. Emily marveled at how their partnership had evolved into something so powerful, so dynamic. After a fierce struggle, the creature finally succumbed, collapsing to the ground with a defeated growl. Emily let out a shaky breath, her heart racing as she lowered her weapon. Is it dead? Elia approached cautiously, her expression serious. We need to be certain. She examined the creature, ensuring it posed no further threat. It was just defending its territory, Emily said, her heart heavy. But we had no choice. Elia looked at her, understanding the conflict Emily felt. Survival requires difficult choices. We must honor its spirit by acknowledging the cycle of life in this jungle. Emily nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. They had fought for their lives, but in doing so, they had disrupted the delicate balance of the ecosystem. What do we do now? She asked, looking to Elia for guidance. We can use its body, Elia suggested. The meat will sustain us, and the hide can provide protection. Together, they set to work, utilizing the resources they had. As they prepared the creature, Emily felt a strange sense of connection to the land. She was beginning to understand the rhythms of this world, the cycle of life and death that defined it. Once they finished, they gathered their supplies and continued deeper into the jungle, their bond stronger than ever. Emily felt a surge of pride at what they had accomplished together, but the feeling was mixed with the weight of their actions. They ventured onward, determined to discover more about this world and the challenges it held. Each step felt significant, the jungle alive with possibilities and dangers alike. As they made their way through the underbrush, Emily noticed a change in the atmosphere once more. The air felt electric, charged with an unseen energy. Do you feel that? She asked, glancing at Elia. Yes, Elia replied, her expression grave. Something is coming. We must find shelter. Rax moved ahead, leading them to a nearby thicket that provided cover. They ducked inside, crouching low and listening intently. The sounds of the jungle shifted, and a low rumble reverberated through the ground. What is that? Emily whispered, her heart pounding in her chest. I do not know, but we must be ready, Elia said, her eyes scanning the surroundings. Suddenly, a herd of creatures burst through the trees, their massive forms crashing into the thicket. They were unlike anything Emily had ever seen, giant, armored beasts with long, spiked tails and tusks that gleamed in the light. They're massive, Emily gasped, awe and fear mingling in her voice. Elia's eyes widened in realization. They are known as throrkos. They travel in herds, but they are territorial and will charge if they feel threatened. Emily's breath quickened. What do we do? We must remain silent, Elia instructed, her voice steady. If they do not sense us, we may avoid conflict. They crouched low, holding their breath as the herd passed by. The ground shook beneath them, and the air filled with the sounds of heavy breathing and clashing tusks. Emily felt a mixture of fear and wonder. The beauty of the jungle was also filled with dangers that were both magnificent and terrifying. As the last of the herd disappeared into the trees, Emily exhaled, her heart racing. That was too close, she whispered, feeling the adrenaline fade. Elia nodded, her expression still serious. We cannot let our guard down. The jungle is unpredictable, and we must learn to adapt quickly. As they emerged from their hiding place, Emily felt the weight of their journey settle upon her. They had faced dangers that tested their resolve, but each challenge had forged a bond that felt unbreakable. Where do we go from here? Emily asked, determination igniting within her. We must find the source, Elia said, her voice resolute. It is a sacred place where the essence of our world flows. It may hold the answers we seek. With newfound purpose, they set off together, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Each step felt significant, a testament to their resilience and the bond they had forged. Emily knew that whatever came their way, They would face it as allies, united in their quest for survival and understanding. The jungle was alive with possibilities, and together, they would uncover its secrets, revealing not just the wonders of Saranthia, but also the strength that lay within their newfound friendship.